All right, if you have an old car, keep it. So right now, I'm sitting in my, I think it is 2005 Honda CR-V. It's a good little car. It's in pretty good shape, all things considered. I've heard it said that these engines could go to 500,000 kilometers. It's at about somewhere around 235 probably, like 235,000 kilometers, something like that. So it's about maybe just under halfway through its life expectancy for the engine, and it's already like a 20-year-old or more car, right? And it only started rusting a bit more substantially, like around like the rear fenders and stuff like that, and probably underneath. It probably only started generating most of its rust like within the last few years, and that's because there was a few years where we didn't undercoat it. I'm pretty sure that this is why the rust started to happen more and more. There's a few years where we didn't undercoat it. We live in Canada, and so something that's common is that in the winter, or before the winter, you will get your car sprayed with this undercoating, material or coating or whatever, and that will basically be kind of a, I think, corrosion protection from all of like the road salt and everything, because in the winter out here, they salt and sand the roads. That stuff gets flung up underneath your car. As far as I understand from all the salt, that leads to corrosion, rusting, and deterioration more so of the under part of your car. Hopefully I'm getting this correct. And so there was a few years where that undercoating process didn't happen, I believe. And then as a result, the aging or the corrosion damage probably, upped the ante a little bit. But anyway, so if you have an old car, keep it. Why? Because there's some simple things. So, as far as I hear, or the current vibe, correct me if I'm wrong, is the used car market and new car market isn't super duper great right now. Things are expensive, probably more expensive on average since after COVID than it was on average before COVID. Fair enough. I could be wrong, but it seems like the vibe is not fantastic. Also, the amount of technology in the new cars, it's probably a lot. And if anything goes wrong with that, does your car still work? Or is it like you got to bring it into the shop because like your screen won't turn on, and do you have any actual dials or anything in your car anymore? So if the screen goes kaput, what happens? Now, it's not that older cars don't have computerization. Like this car has some level of computerization as far as I understand, but like how pervasive is the computerization? And as a result of how much computer stuff it has in it, does that make it more likely to, not work if there's anything wrong with the computer stuff? But also, there's the nice simplicity of older cars. Like I have 3 dials in here right now. I have like the fan speed, the temperature, and where the fan is blowing. It's simple, right? And so there might be something nice to just the simplicity of older vehicles. There might be something nice just to the aesthetic of some older vehicles. And, yeah. And the affordability, because if you might be able to get like some older vehicles, even though they might be more expensive than if you bought the same type of older vehicle 5-10 years ago, or let's say just before COVID, so 2019 or whatever. Even though those same older vehicles might be a bit more higher in price right now, it's still probably going to be cheaper than acquiring something relatively new, right? So there's the cost saving thing there, if you can still get something good on the used market. And then what else was I going to say? There's another point to that. Oh, the repairability. Dude, as far as I've heard, I'm not a mechanic, but I've seen like some stuff online or whatever, heard some stuff, whatever. Is the repairability of some of these new vehicles, I don't know if it's all new vehicles, but it's at least like, it's got to be however many that it is. Correct me if I'm wrong on how many vehicles are like this, but I saw this YouTube short where this guy was trying to do something in the car door, whether it was replace the handle or whatever it was, and he was whatever he was doing, and he was talking about how if you mess up anything in the car door nowadays with these newer vehicles, or at least that specific model he was working on, I think it was like a 2024, 2025, I could be wrong. It's like if you like mess up like the door handle, or like one of the examples I heard, it might have been from this video or a different video. If you mess up like the door window button, like say it's like a $2 or $3 switch for your door window, and it only costs like $2 or $3 to get that actual door switch part, if you could order that door switch part on its own. But because of the way that they made the car, you can't just replace the door switch, like the little window switch. You have to replace the whole door panel. So if I remember correctly, you go from like a $2 or $3 switch to a $450 car door panel just to fix the switch. So tell me how that makes you feel. You don't have to, but anyway, it's not fantastic if you want to like not spend an arm and a leg on repairing your car. So this is not very, cost-effective design philosophy. If you go and get an older car, one that's 10, 20 years old, hopefully you'll be more easily able to repair it, or have somebody repair it, or maybe it'll be cheaper to repair, hopefully. Might depend on the make and model of the car, but hopefully it's cheaper than the whole modern design of replacing the whole door panel when the window switch is broken. But anyway, yeah, and also just like, the cost of acquiring vehicles and stuff, and if you already got an old vehicle in the family, just like, try to keep it running, and don't like sell it off before you need to or anything. Like, even if you just like pay the basic insurance, whatever you have to pay to just park it and not drive it, because say you have like a regular car that you drive and you have like your old car, maybe it's worth keeping that just as a backup. Maybe the new car needs a repair, it goes into the shop, you have a backup car you could still drive during that time, don't have to get a rental, So it's like, maybe it's worth just like keeping the old cars and trying to maintain them, keep them in good shape. Cost-effective thing. And also, if say you have a friend that their car has an issue, you could be like, hey man, take the Honda, it's ready to go, just let me do whatever you need to do to make the insurance legit and everything, and be like, hey man, here you go, borrow the car, as long as you're doing everything legally and properly. But yeah, then it allows you to help people out too, if you have an extra vehicle, stuff like that. So anyway, I'll basically leave that there. If you have an old car, please consider holding on to it and keeping it running in good shape, or at least in reasonable shape, because maybe it's seen better days. But regardless, maybe it's worth holding on to. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.